Today we're ranking the top 10 decks for Standard. Kicking off the list, we are going to start off with the Invasion of Alara 5-color nonsense. By turn 5, if they drop this thing, it is absolutely lights out. Even turn 4, if they have that stupid raccoon, and I know that you're sick of getting that thing dropped on your head, and then it's pretty much lights out from there. The only reason why this makes number 10 is it's pretty easy to deal with. You can go ahead and duress it away before they even get a chance to play it. You can use a counter spell, so I'm going to put this at number 10. Coming in at number 9 is going to be Dimir Fairies. Now, I know a lot of people want this to be higher on the list, but trust me, this is no repeat of Dimir Rogues. I know we all have PTSD from that awesome deck, but this is different. If you don't have Kaito out there as draw support, the deck runs out of steam fairly quickly, and it doesn't have a ton of 2-for-1s. It is my personal opinion that these decks up higher are much stronger. Coming in at number 8, we're going to go with Adventures here. Now, I know Adventures over Dimir Fairies might be a little bit of a hot take, but I do think that there are enough tools in this deck that really push it over the top. The Questing Druid pretty much acts like a Reckless Impulse on steroids, and that's gosh darn pretty good. The Questing Beast gets so big that it's actually hard to outgrow and outpace as a creature, and with all of the pump spells and the green protection spells, such as Tyvar Stand, and then you also have the Royal Treatment. There's a plethora of different protection spells to protect your things, so it's very, very hard to navigate. I think this deck is actually kind of a sleeper. I'm putting it at number 8. Coming in at number 7, I'm going to go with Control. Now, obviously, there's Dimir, there's Azorius, there's Super Friends, there's a bunch of different types of control, but overall, I think as long as Wandering Emperor is there, fighting off aggro decks, and even with Eldraine, we do get that brand new Whale, and I know Control Mages are loving this so much, so overall, I still think there's enough cards like Depopulate, there's enough tools to go around in Control to hold off some of these other decks back. Number 6, we're going to give it to Selesnya Enchantments. Now, if you remember, kind of the Jukai Naturalist, Kami of Transience kind of core, that kind of reminds me of the Rune deck back in the day of Kamigawa, but either way, with Calyx coming out, there's so much firepower in this deck, and there's so much, especially with the Weaver and everything, I think Enchantments have so much firepower that they can actually blow through and outvalue a lot of the decks here, and obviously, again, going over those green protection spells, Selesnya Enchantments has all the tools, and not to mention Hallowed Haunting. Yeah, it's a wrap. I think Selesnya Enchantments is well worth the position here at number 6. Coming in at number 5, I'm going to go with Mono Black here. We all know about like Graveyard Trespasser, Sheoldred, Liliana, and if you even, some decks even kind of can throw like the Shadow card or even like Evolved Sleeper if you want to go a little bit more aggro-y, but overall, the Mono Black Shell is like a really complete deck. It's not really aggro, it's not really control, it's like mid-range, I don't know, it's kind of everything all in one, and Sheoldred is just so freaking annoying. If you don't have a way to get over Sheoldred, it's pretty much just a win condition. It just drains you. We all know it. You get your board nice and wide, that 5 toughness, a little bit too hard to burn away, and before you know it, you're just down to 0 life. So I'm going to go with Mono Black at number 5. This may be a bit of a hot take once again, but I think at number 4, I'm going to go with Golgari mid-range, just because I think that the Golgari version is pretty much Mono Black, but even better. With the new Mossy Dread Knight, I think this card absolutely puts this over, and you even have cards like Glissa now, and a Terra Sunder. Yeah, you have different things you can do that you can't really do in Mono Black, so for that reason, I think that the Golgari kind of rock deck is actually strictly better. So love the new Knight card, love all the different things, and again, especially going over all of those green protection spells, but overall, I think that we can put this at 4 pretty safely above Mono Black. Number 3 is going to have to be Azorius Soldiers. I know it's kind of annoying and like nauseating because this deck has been around for such a long time, but it kind of does feel like a complete deck, whereas it can really reload. The one thing that this has over Mono White is that it can reload a lot better, it can draw a little bit better, you can kind of protect yourself, and obviously giving blue gives you counterspell abilities, so obviously the Mono White versus the Azorius, which one is better? Overall, I do think that Mono White does take the cake, but Azorius is still obviously up there, and it just feels like the weaker of the two, sort of like the Mono Black and the Golgari versions. I did kind of spoil it, but number 2 is going to have to be Mono White here. There's just so many different things it can do. You have big creatures, and like Adeline, you can go ahead and spread your board nice and wide. You have taxes, you've got the Invasion, and you have the Anointed Peacekeeper. There's so many different things that you can do with Mono White, and it just feels like it's just not really going anywhere anytime soon. Until like Thalia and those things rotate out, I still think Mono White is just going to be here to stay. So it is what it is. Mono White's taking number 2. Number 1 is going to be our favorite Mono Red. I have to put it at number 1. I do think that the win rates are about like 57 to 58% on Untapped, so you can kind of check into that. But I think I'm going to put this over mono white. There are different variations. I know some of them run like the Godric, some of them are more burn, some of them are more just like really pingy, I don't know. But overall, I think mono red is pretty safe to put at number 1. Am I stupid? Did I get something wrong? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed the list, go ahead and hit the like. The like button looks just like this, helps out the channel tremendously, and I kind of like this. This is kind of different, change of pace. But either way, let me know, and that's about all I got for you. Man, oh man, out.